Hi, I'm Sam. I'm an artist, graphic designer, and illustrator from Leicester, England. I like traveling, creating, cooking, going to the game, jumping in the water, and stuffing my face. In early 2023, I decided to put all my stuff into storage, sell my car, and go traveling, embracing life as a digital nomad, flying around the world and working remotely in other countries. So far, it's been a blast. I've been making memories, exploring different cultures, and embracing different ways of life. I've made a bunch of new friends, had a bunch of visitors from back home come out to stay with me, tried local cuisines, fell into tourist traps, and had way too much sunshine. Some of my favourite days since I've been away are the days where I've put the iPad in a bag, gone for a wander until I found somewhere to post up, enjoying the scenery and drawing something. So I want to bring you with me as I document my journey and try to adjust to life on the move, finding inspiration and living my dream of working and travelling, drawing and exploring. What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Drawing and Exploring with me, Sam Grubb. I'm in sunny Albania. It's my second day here. I arrived here just a couple of days ago, so I flew from Stansted. Getting to Stansted was fine, and I feel like after the flight, when I was thinking about it, I felt like I was due a bad one for a while. I've been on an insane run where I've just had like spare seats next to me, or I get asked to be the guy who goes and sits next to the exit if it all kicks off. A bit more leg room and stuff, but yeah, this one was intense. We were delayed 2 hours on the runway because people took too long getting onto the plane. And everyone was just loud and annoying and doing stupid stuff that you see people do in flights. And then there was a whole gaggle of kids that was out with this one family. And obviously the row behind me was completely made up of kids who were kicking my chair to bits the whole way through the flight. But yeah, landed now, been here 2 days. As you can see, I'm sweating already. It's relatively early. It's insanely hot. I think it's 38 degrees today. It's supposed to peak at 40 next week. And I had this feeling last year when I got to Spain around the same sort of time of year when I'd first gone away. I got to Spain, I stepped off the plane and I thought, wow, for a week I can sweat it out, I can do it. But I thought this is going to be some adjustment. Like, it was seriously hot, and I thought, have I made a big mistake? And now I'm thinking the same thing. I've arrived here and I'm like, wow, it's cooking. The AC's blasting at the apartment, so that's good. I can get away from it, but it's something else. Yeah, I can't moan. I guess one of the main reasons I've come away is to get away from the dreadful weather in England. So yeah, like I said, right now, sunny Albania. I'm in the city of Tirana, which is the capital. I'm just going to have a mosey on down into the centre, try see a couple of sites, and then you know the sketch, we'll find somewhere to get set up and get drawing. Oh my lord, it's hot. Right now I'm in Fan Stilianoli Park, which is a small ground, shady grounds that's just right near the Namazgah Mosque, which is a huge mosque you can see in the background, right in the middle of Tirana. But I just wanted to talk briefly about Albania and Tirana. So Tirana is the capital. It's been the capital since 1920. It was a small town for years before that. It's pretty much in the middle of Albania. It's 20 miles away from the coast where you can get to the Adriatic Sea. So I'm definitely going to plan a trip there if it stays this hot. 900,000 people live here as per a census in 2021. And the vibe on the ground, it kind of feels a bit like Greece, a little bit like Croatia, that kind of similar sort of vibe. But it's interesting. I'm noticing a few things already. So one thing is how they respect road crossings. I had the same thing in Latvia. There's not a car in sight. We're all just humans that were born onto Earth. And because there's poles and lights in the ground, people are stood not crossing the road, making themselves late. I think I heard that in Japan, if you rush around and you cross roads quickly, people think it's like scruffy and uncouth. So maybe it's the same thing. But in Latvia, it's really irritating me. Like, it's just as bad when it's this hot. But when it's in Latvia, it was like minus 23. and people have stood there. There's no cars around, and they're just stood waiting to cross the road. I couldn't get my head around why they're doing it. So people do that. They're not big on card readers. I've spent, like I said, I've been here 2 days, and I'm having murder. Like, I'll carry the Monzo out, the Monzo's not working, and then I need to go and get cash, and then the ATM's not working. And most places, it looks like they're just going to take cash, unless it's like, I don't know, big kind of chain coffee shops or places like that. But yeah, Albania, not big on card readers so far. Other things, I think the people are quite like, I don't know the word for it, what would you call it? They keep themselves to themselves. I think when I was in Morocco, everyone wants to get to know you and blah, blah, blah. And then I had this culture shock. I went straight from Morocco to Latvia. And in Latvia, everyone's looking at the ground. No one wants to talk to you. I've never held doors open for so many people in my life as in Latvia without a word of thanks. And I feel like maybe Albanians are on a similar kind of vibe. The lads seem nice. Met a few really cool people straight away. One guy helped me find a cash point from the shop, and we're chit-chatting away and whatever. But I think maybe similar to kind of when I was in Turkey, I realised less is more with the old boys. So I think maybe they think all us Brits are like super smiley, fake smile, hey, hi, nice to see you sort of guys. And I realised that the way to be with the old Turkish boys that I'd see time to time was just keep it small, simple as possible, acknowledge them, keep it moving. And I think that might be the case in Albania. But one thing I was aware of whilst I was filming in Mexico was how fine I was just shooting the B-roll stuff. I've just filmed people and places and things that I'd see, and it was fine, no problems. No one ever said anything to me. Whereas I've been out for an hour, say already filming, and like already people are like, I'm setting up my camera or whatever, a little old lady walks by, I kind of smile at her to say good morning, she just screw faces me and keeps it walking. And then I'm filming a little kind of market stand shop that's got like some fresh fruit and stuff. I go to get like a close-up of these peppers that look really nice, and this woman comes out the shop and starts like clapping her hands and talking to me in Albanian. I said, oh, sorry, you know, kept it moving. I think it might be a bit more colourful. I'm thinking if I'm here for a month and I'm going around being a tourist, sticking a selfie stick in people's business, I think I'm going to get told where to go more than I did in Mexico. So we'll wait to see how that unfolds. But yeah, absolutely sweltering. I'm about to take a walk down to, there's a square that's named after a dude. I Googled it briefly this morning. I'm not going to pretend to know the story. But whilst I'm walking down, I'll have a little Google, find out what this guy is, why he's got a square named after him. And when I'm in the square, then I can tell you what I'm going to be getting on with today. So I Googled this guy. I think his name's pronounced Jaya Skanderbeg, and he was a feudal lord and what was the other thing it said? A commander who led a rebellion against the former Ottoman Empire. And it was what's now turned into like Albania, what did it say? North Macedonia, Greece, Serbia, Kosovo, and possibly Montenegro. I'm not sure. I'm going to make it come up on screen so you'll see it. But yeah, that's who the big man is, Jaya. And he's got a square named after him here. So it's a vibe. Family's out. Everyone's having a good time in the sun. What am I drawing today then? So this is a nice one. This is kind of now in real life. Stuff's gone live, right? So in this last week, I've launched the last couple episodes. And I'm excited. I've had such a nice response. Everyone's loving it. It's great. People have been so sweet, sending nice messages. So thanks for everyone who watched an episode or reached out or whatever. But I've kind of, in a way, got my first job. So my friend Louis, who's a grime artist in Leicester, he reached out. He said he needs cover art for a project. And obviously, I think I seen him last week when I was in Nottingham. I bumped into him. And so we spoke about the YouTube venture and kind of the work I want to do. And he says, you know what, I've got something for you. He said, why don't you take a stab at this artwork? So he wants artwork for a tune called Survival, which is with Jaya Had A Dream, another grime artist. and today I'm going to do the artwork. It's nice. It's kind of the first drawing and exploring commission, so this is exciting. But I've been listening to a song. I've got a few ideas for some scenes that I think you could depict from the song. I just want to pick out a line and embellish on it or something like that. So now I'm going to go try find a coffee shop and get somewhere into it. Look at how much I'm sweating. This is a joke, right? Why did I think, I'm going to start a YouTube channel? I know myself. I know how hot I get in these kind of places. This is just a bad idea. Look, there's your manager, or the back of him. Right, I want to go find a coffee shop. Okay, Perla Tattoo Bar, Central Tirana in Albania. Loving life. So yeah, working on it. I'd got started. I made a little text layout there, like you could see. And my plan was just to trace over that later and hand render it. But I like doing that just to find a typeface and then make all the kind of counters and the legs of the letters consistent. You know, I figured like it's a good start point. Here, another mountain range. I was thinking like wilderness. Listen to the tune, and in the opening line of the chorus it says, I grew up in the wilderness. So I was thinking that it'd be cool to do some kind of, you know, wildernessy sort of looking thing, especially going off last week's episode where I was doing something similar, a little forest sort of scene. So I was trying to draw in some trees in the foreground and add a few little details to these, like some pines, I guess they ended up looking like, especially with the colours that I picked out. This time I made a palette, as you can see at the bottom, but then I just went off piece straight away using the pink for the background, but that's subject to change. The good thing about layering this up is I can just go back and tweak it at some point, kind of draw the illustration in stages. So here I wanted to get rid of my outline, so I was just using a rough sketch just to kind of try and paint in the different areas. Adding like a low moon, low sun sort of vibe. I'm using a iPad, what is it? iPad 12.9 inch, 5th generation iPad Pro, 2nd generation Apple Pencil. The software that I'm using is called Procreate, and it's all fueled by Coke Zero, this one. I think, oh no, I had like a soda lemon or something, which I hadn't seen in ages. I remember them from UK pubs from when I was a kid. When I seen it, I was like, wow, I've not seen one of those in ages. I guess they must still be around, maybe on the UK market, but it was quite nice. It wasn't so sweet and tart. I remember there was a time in my life where I used to love the lemon San Pellegrino, but they are so sugary and over the top sweet. I don't know how I used to throw them back. Working on the stream, I think I was adding a little mask to this, trying to change the colour, or what am I doing? A little watery, shimmery texture. A little bit of background, just building it up. Whole time I'm thinking that the middle of this illustration is going to have text over it as well, or like the whole thing's going to be kind of set into text or something. So I was ready to lose some elements of it. I like these spooky trees in the foreground. They were fun trying to draw the branches. I guess the thing I was figuring out was that every branch, there's no point where the branch is going to get thicker halfway through the branch. So the ones where I'd draw them and they were just a little bit thick in the middle, maybe the pen pressure wasn't quite right, I'd just take them back out or thicken them up towards the base, and they ended up looking like trees. So I figured I was thinking on the day, it's one of those easy things that you learn to draw straight away as an artist, but I don't know, I spent all my time drawing characters. I never really think too much about drawing trees and stuff like that, so maybe it'd be a good bit of practice to get into. But yeah, that was one thing I realised. More details, more trees off in the background, broken trees, trying to make it look a bit, the tune sounded a bit heavy and dark. Not heavy, just a bit dark and, you know, scary or whatever. And especially like the mention for the wilderness, early doors. I was thinking if I can make this look a bit like creepy and, you know, like night has fallen, that's cool. Details around the water, little rocks and things like that. A few more little bits of shadow on the trees in the mid-ground. Here, just trying to eat into the corners a little bit, you know, make it look as if you just stumbled upon like an opening. Still kind of symmetrical, but adding like a little hazy texture here. What's this? Highlights going in, I guess, on top of the tree branches. grouping all the illustration together. This is where I think, yeah, I'm going to use some text on Procreate. So what I was thinking was, if I made this square full of text, you know, so ThatGuyLoui featuring Jaya Had A Dream survival, and that fills up this whole square. I was thinking that'd be cool, because then the image could show through the gaps in the letter, kind of like an image mask, or show through in the letter itself, sorry, not the gaps. So I was trying to pick a typeface that's thick, and then also thinking about hierarchy. I want people to read it in the right order. Ultimately, it's Louis's artwork, and Jaya is the feature artist, so I was thinking if that sits in a little smaller, then that probably makes a lot of sense, just kind of like this. Get rid of those lines I was just using to measure it out. And then survival, the name of the single. So here I'm trying to set that back a little bit and then just trace over the outline, but I want to keep it a little bit rough so it looks hand rendered. I didn't want it to look super straight and sharp and crispy. I was thinking if it looked a little bit messy, then that's all good fun. I love hand rendered text. I love like old comic books when you look at the handwriting, they look cool. I think maybe from graffiti or whatever in hand styles. I'm just interested in typography and hand drawn typography. I think, like, you know, punk zines and stuff like that, where they've got their own kind of style. It's pretty cool. This is the kind of a long part of the job. I think the juice is worth the squeeze though, you know, because I always, maybe it's one of those inside baseball things, but I always, like, if I see a hand rendered font on like anything, whether it's like an advert on the tube, I always look for two of the same letter, and it's a giveaway, because you can always see whether it's just literally a font that they've used that looks hand rendered, and say for example the two D's here and the two A's would outline exactly the same. But I think, you know, for the sake of however long, half an hour of your work, I feel like hand rendering them just makes it a little bit more personal and a little bit more unique. It's funny though, because you get halfway through a task like this and you have a tendency to change your mark making, whether it's like making things a little bit more wobbly or making things a little bit straighter, and it's like, it's important to try and, I guess, stick to the same sort of style so everything looks coherent. Good thing is I can just drop fill this, same as paint. With the whole screen filling up black, that means there was a little gap somewhere, so I just had to find that. And then so it begins. I don't think I could crack this, so I ended up making a few versions of the artwork. And what I was trying to do, making it just show through, for me it wasn't working. It was just looking a bit hard to read maybe, or like it cut out a little bit too much of the artwork. Like you can see there's kind of big sections missing, even though the text takes up nearly all the illustration. And I think because the colours are sort of purplish and they're in the middle, it was hard to get them to stand out. So I was trying to do some stuff like this, see if I could add like a little something to brighten up the illustration and make it a little bit more legible. But it was really tough. I just weren't having much luck with it. So I think I eventually got to a point, but then I was thinking, let me try it with the text just in full colour over the image and a bit smaller. And I think that worked a bit better. So I was trying to change. So I remember at this point I was thinking the colour of the river is what's causing the problem, which I don't necessarily think was the case, but it might have been better to just do that in a darker colour anyway. But yeah, even here where I'm trying to like sit it over the top and change the blend mode so it's a bit more recessive, kind of this purpley sort of colour, I still don't think it was working. When I looked at the text over the top, I just don't think that the design was the best design. Struggling with the blend mode here, just trying to get it to bed in a little bit, add some little details to it. Change it to the pink one, still having the same issue. I feel like, yeah, looking at this with a fresh eye, it's like, yeah, it's definitely not working. I think maybe the vertical lines of the middle letters of survival versus the horizontal lines of the river was what was making it not work, looking back at it now. But even trying to like make that sit in and add like a darker background around the text or whatever, I still don't think it was the, you know, I was thinking, could I fatten it up and add some details in the gaps with these little bits? But ultimately took those out. Here again, trying to bring all the colours in the illustration together with a little filter. But every time I kind of cranked it up, I just felt like I was losing loads of the detail. So this was my idea. I thought if I set the text in the middle and just try a few different colours, I think that kind of works better. I don't think we lose too much detail. Tried to see if the plant coming over the top of the letter worked, but I don't think it did. But yeah, sent over a few options. I'm not sure which one's your favourite. I kind of like all three of them. I think I'm into the pink. I think I like the orange because of the contrast. Maybe the blue is my least favourite. This was as far as I got with the first kind of version. I think that's hard to read. I'm not mad on that one. And here's the artwork without the text over the top, just so you can see the texture. I'll say leave a comment below. Let me know which one you like, which is the version that the guys should go with. All right, so the drawing's finished. We're back out into Tirana. It's cooled down a little bit. There's a little breeze today. It's about 6 p.m. now, and there's a bit more shade to be had, but it's difficult. It's going to be a hot couple of months. But yeah, I need to go get some food now. So I've been thinking in these videos, like, obviously we've been away. It's not like I'm eating the traditional food of the area every single day. I'm not sure if I said this on a previous video, but there'll be days where I go out and just like any other day, I crave a cheeseburger or pizza or whatever. And I don't know, I was thinking because it's like my first weekend here, I should really dip my toe in. And when I had a little look before I come away, it seems similar to a lot of other Balkan cuisine. It's grills, salads, a lot of sort of stuff that's borrowed from Greece. So you see Greek salads, tzatziki, that sort of stuff on menus. And then I was having a little look, Googling, looking at traditional Albanian food. And then I seen a dish, the stuffed peppers. I'm not even going to try to pronounce how they say it. But when I was like 20 years old or something, my ex-girlfriend at the time was a Bulgarian girl, and she used to cook these stuffed peppers. They were so good. We used to eat them like every single week. And in the picture, they look like a similar kind of thing. I don't think I've had them since then, maybe once or twice. So I was looking, and there's a few like little traditional spots that sell them. Looks like it's a bit of a staple on the menus. Another thing I spotted is a bunch of places they're just called like Albanian fast food. But I think it's not so much like burgers, chips and pizzas as like literally Albanian fast food. So quick salads, little bits and bobs, little grills, koftas, things like that. So I've got a bit of a walk, like a 16-minute walk from the bar I was at. Just trying to take it easy, not rush myself. I've already got a sweat on, but I'm absolutely starving now. So I'm thinking if I can find the stuffed peppers, maybe a little salad or something, keep it light. It's gonna be a nice evening. Gjelltore, Sauku? Not too sure. I was searching for the stuffed peppers and found this spot. Then they had the football on. So I was like, wow, yeah, this is a cool place. Nice, simple menu. I got 2 of the koftas, a little sausage, the stuffed peppers. This is the thing I was craving, stuffed with rice and pork mince. But so good. I've been craving these kind of vegetables, you know, and just the salad and stuff like that. Unbelievable stuff, going down absolutely beautifully. One eye on the game. Bit of green salad, bit of this, bit of that. Sweet guy came over to me, the guy whose place it was, and he's asked me where I'm from. I said England, and he said, I can have a photo with you. So we took a photo, then he was like, can you leave me a review on Google? Kind of like, didn't really speak English too much, but was showing me his phone and just saying, you know. I said, yeah, of course. So then I said, look, I'm going to go one better. I've been recording myself sitting here eating the food. It was really, really good. Definitely authentic and super cheap, so just delicious. I said to the guy, look at the towel there working. Oh my God, it was so hot. But I said to him, yeah, I'm going to put it on YouTube. I told him I've got a little channel, was able to show him one of the episodes now we're live. And I think he got the idea, so hopefully he got his son on the phone. He didn't have a Coke Zero, so he rang his son. So his son, who speaks English, could tell me that he didn't have a Coke Zero and to ask me if a normal Coke's okay. I said, yeah, mate, no problem. Maybe he's got his son translating this, but it was a good spot. Game was going off, Euros in full swing. That was about the scene of the crime at the end. What's that? £7.36. Can't go wrong. You ever eat something and you just leave yourself feeling so light and fresh, and you feel like, yeah, that's the sort of thing I should be eating. These guys have got it right out here. It was super nice. What a lovely little spot. What an evening. It's cooled right down. I'm thinking, cool, if this is the vibe in the evening and this is the kind of temperature post dinner time, I can get with this. It's actually not too bad. I just need to make sure that I'm out of the way for those few hours in the middle of the day where it's really boiling. But yeah, first weekend in Tirana. Excited to be here. Excited to explore it a bit more, see what else the city's got to offer. It was a good day. Everything was easy to find. Didn't have to go too far to get right into the middle of it from where I'm staying. So I think we've got a good location. Yeah, just want to sign off, say thanks to anyone who watched, anyone who tuned in, whether you're my people who are locked in because you found it by my socials, or whether you're just a YouTuber surfing, or someone who, maybe someone I know has recommended the episode to you or whatever. I appreciate you coming in. And especially now that the episodes are live, I'm thinking a lot more about views and numbers and kind of like the reality of I'm putting the work in. Hopefully some people are going to enjoy the content. So I've had a bunch of nice messages already, and I'm glad to just keep it rolling. But yeah, if you want to lock in, if you do want to follow me, you can follow me. Probably the best place is my Instagram. That's where I post most of the project work and stuff like that. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at @SamGrubArt. And that's also the TikTok. I think it's going to be a bunch of content from this, a bunch of time lapses and stuff like that. But the TikTok is also at @SamGrubArt. I need to start posting to it. What else? The portfolio website. If you want to see like some bigger picture pieces, maybe more corporate client stuff, or a little bit more left field from the stuff that's on my Instagram, you can check out my portfolio site. Go to samgrub.co.uk to see those bits there. There's a contact form there. And then the last thing as ever that I want to shout out is, with this whole thing, right, the reason why I'm doing this YouTube venture is because I can't really see myself making YouTube money and being one of those people who gets 1 million subscribers and everyone's locking in. Look, this is what I mean about the guys crossing the road. No cars, they've gone for it. But yeah, I can't ever really see myself making stupid YouTube money and having 1 billion followers and stuff like that. But I think the reality could be, if I post my work and people see the process and kind of understand what I can and can't do, I'm hoping that people come to me and ask me for artwork who land on these videos. So if that sounds like you, if you want to launch some, I don't know, t-shirts, if you're starting a t-shirt brand and you want a few t-shirt designs just to get it going, contact me. You can contact me at contactdrawingandexploring@gmail.com. That's the email. Shoot me an email there and we can talk about the project. And I'm just going to go for it. And yeah, I mean, like today was a perfect example, right? This cover art, something that I love to like pick up and put down. So yeah, if there's something like that that you feel like I could be the man for the job, reach out, get in touch. The email address, like I said, contactdrawingandexploring@gmail.com. But for now, I'm going to sign off. I need to get back. I'm looking forward to a shower, like more than you know. But yeah, I've been Sam Grub. Thanks for watching another episode of Drawing and Exploring.